Yes.
Please continue, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So the trend is like we are removing some earlier kind of old-fashioned words, and we are keeping the simpler words or clear words to the contract. So it's a usual practice, like in the event of so and so, we are replacing it with if, above mentioned as above, and prior to before, forthwith is like immediately. So it should avoid the confusion in the minds of other parties. We are concentrating more on the audience of the contract who are not a legal professionals. So they should understand the contract and keep it as much as simple and clear. So we have some belt and brace words like termination or expiry, that the same meaning, but we are using two words. So we are curtailing it to one word. So we are avoiding this. So can we close this PDF and who want to
So
QA?
shall I share that document now?
Yeah, if they have questions, they can ask right now, or else we can move to that. Or you can share. I will finish it off that also.
All right, ma'am.
So this is a one example of employment agreement I am going to discuss today with you. And we need to be careful about the punctuation marks also. And there was a famous case in the year 2006 to 16, I guess, a Canadian case on just on the punctuation mark, comma. I think you all may be knowing it. If not, please read that judgment, and it's a beautiful case on punctuation mark, when what has caused and how the contract has been destroyed because of just a comma. And I think the name of article you can find in the Google as one comma which has destroyed the $1 million agreement, I think you can find that. But the party is named like Rogers Communication Incorporation versus Alient Incorporation. It's a Canadian case. Please go through it. And this is the one example I'm going to discuss with you. This is an employment agreement, and you can see the format here. This is a simple one I have taken. I have not added too much clauses also. So this employment agreement is made on so and so, no effective dates. It's directly only the execution date I have taken, and it is effective from that date. Between whom? That person, it is company who is hiring that person, employer as a first party, and second one is employee. You can, but I haven't mentioned the age. You can mention here as age and resident of so and so. And employer in this case also, like he is the authorized person by the company to enter into a contract. You can mention here also. Then recitals, you can see this, like Mr. B, who is the management and engineering graduate. So he has already so and such info experience. So we have like done with his interview, and he's a qualified person to be CEO of the company. So we are going to hire him. This is the little bit about what has happened before entering into this employment agreement recitals. Next comes is terms and conditions. Commencement and place of work, I have both together. I have taken into one clause, like the employment shall commence from date, month, year. So date should mention as 12th January 2016, like that you can mention. That is the easiest way I can say. And a place of work where he is going to work. In case if he is working multiple locations, you are going to mention here. But if you're not sure, like where all he can be like work, you can mention a one place, and you can mention as per the future agreements or else future policies of the company. He may be like located to the, you may be sent to other places for the work also, you can mention. So you please keep as flexible as possible. There is some question.
Can you please first complete this and
Okay,
then we
okay,
can
sure.
have questions?
Then you are mentioning job function. What is he is going to do? What are his duties under this contract? What is his role as under the contract, CEO? What he is going to do? Then probation. What is the period of probation he is going to have? Salary, perks, and other benefits. Like what is his salary and what other benefits, perks he is going to have? And you can mention here as like as per the company's policies, as per the profit and loss of the every year of the company, we are going to decide the benefits and perks. Salary, you are going to mention the perfect one, and little flexibility you are going to mention here. Leave, how much leave he is going to have, and sick leaves, anything you have some differentiation, you are going to do this. Termination, when he can be terminated by the company or when he can be resigned from the post by himself, you are going to mention here. Yes. Then non-compete clause. See, he once he is CEO, then he of the company he will be knowing. So you are putting him a condition that you are not going to, after the resignation or termination, you are not going to disclose this confidential information, plus you are not going to join any other competing business by opening your, putting this condition. Confidentiality, same condition, like he is not going to disclose the confidential information to any others. In case if there is any dispute between the employer and employee, the which court, whether the arbitrator will be having the authority to decide this matter, you are going to mention, and what are the qualifications of the arbitrator, and what will be the fees of, and where it can run. All the conditions you are going to mention on the jurisdiction, or else the governing law clause, dispute resolution clause also you can mention. As per your convenience, you are going to mention the subtitles, you can see. Alterations, if there is any alterations in the regulations, and how you are going to notify the your employee, like if it is like which is going to affect to his, particularly to his job, then you are going to mention, disclose it by, or by sending a notice to him, directly to him, or if there is a general regulations of the company is changed, then you can put it on a notice board, and you are notifying all the employees of the company. This is a few clauses I have taken for example. So here is a signature, date, and here the company's person is going to put a seal here. Yeah. So can we have a QA now?
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah.
So shall I read out the questions to you or you?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So we have a question from Rupali Bajaj.
Mm-hmm.
How can I improve myself in contract abstraction in order to get job after LLB?
Contracts. So if you are going for the job under the contract, then I suggest you please uh, take one subject like employment contract and choose the legal templates, that related templates, agreement templates. Start writing it, and you can find the differences. At first, be perfect on a few more, like usual employment, software licensing. These are the contracts which are running right now. Try to draft it. Then you can easily be confident on contracts, and you can try for the job. And the most running job is contracts. And along with that, you can have another field as your career. Like don't have only one as your goal. Along with contract, you can have as a data privacy, which is going to boom into India right now, because after passing of the bill, and the more job opportunities will open on a privacy law. So please start studying and start preparing for the privacy law as well. I suggest to you all. Yeah, next.
We have a question from Vaishnavi
Yeah.
Keshav.
Huh?
In judiciary, question of contract weighted,
Sorry,
like for judiciary preparation, whether questions of contract are weighted,
I didn't get your point.
like if someone is preparing for judiciary exams,
Mm-hmm.
whether questions of contract weighted, like does it carry weight?
I think contract law, if it is like part of judiciary exam, then obviously you can prepare on that as well. And I think law of contract is a part of a syllabus for judiciary exam also, right?
Yeah, ma'am. It's
Yeah,
like it carry a lot of weightage.
yeah.
Yeah, Ashutosh is asking what is the difference between waiver and severability clause?
Mm-hmm.
Both of them saves us from destroying the contract.
See, severability is like, see, now the contract is legal. The whole contract is legal. Severability is like if after some days you are a part of the contract, you are like delivering two types of products, and one part is declared by the government order that now onwards the transaction to related to that product is made illegal, or we are prohibiting, or else only the state companies can transact with that, and you are like your contract is going to be destroyed. So but in that case your severability clause saves you that we are removing this contract, but with other product we are going ahead with this contract. That severability clause saves you. Plus this waiver clause is like in case the product is like delivered to you little bit delay, and you have a right under the contract that you are going to notify, and it may sometimes it may lead to the breach also, termination of the contract, but still you are not using that right and going ahead with the contract. That is waiver clause. You are waiving your right to ask the other party that why the delay is being made, or you can ask the delay something interest or something. That right you are going to waive yourself. Yeah.
Kinari Shankar is asking, ma'am, can you please explain the importance of force majeure again?
Yeah, force majeure. This is act of God, and before act of God, which or else the situations which are not under the control of the parties. So when we are mentioning it, we are going to think about discuss about 2 points. One is the party has tried his level best to avoid that situation, and he has notified that event to the other party, and he has taken he has tried his level best to perform the contract. That conditions need to be taken into account when the question of force majeure clause comes. So right now it is I think most of the courts are under the discussion for this because the COVID is some contracts are like hit by this COVID. So you can see the Bombay High Court judgment also, and most articles, legal professionals are writing articles on this COVID as a force majeure. You can see that.
We have a last question from Rupali
Okay.
Bajaj. Can you please suggest some books or material for
Sure.
privacy law?
Privacy law, you can GDPR. See, right now it is. If you go to like IAP, it is very good, but it's too much costlier for you. So I suggest you read some free courses on Coursera, or else I suggest you e-training. That is one institute that is, I think that person is from Romania, but I don't know where is exactly. But the head is from Romania, and it's a very good institute, and you can, as per your pace, you are going to learn it. And I suggest you please read that. Be prepared on that privacy law, because you are going to get more job opportunities along with the contract plus GDPR. I see.
Shantanu Patel is asking, are there any courses on drafting, reviewing, etc. of contracts from any of the institutions?
There are like in In India, I don't know exactly right now, but you can start by taking all the templates on a subject and try to find out the differences from one template to other and write down. And I can say you that one book, this is a book which I referred before I start with this webinar. This is a very good book. It's by UK author. The name is Drafting and Negotiating Commercial Contracts. And whatever I have information I told in this webinar is from this book. So this is written by Mark Anderson and Victor Warner, the authors are. So you can go check this book. It's very good, I feel.
So Rupali is asking, just a second. Which sector provides jobs related to privacy law?
Which sector? Like once a privacy law is made compulsory, then all the companies should apply this. So every product or all the companies should follow the privacy law, means all the companies you can start, every industry.
So now we are going to end the session.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the wonderful session.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone, for attending the session. I hope you stay safe and you stay healthy. So, okay, Devshri, can you please stop the recording?